So dear students, let's begin today's our lecture. The lecture is going to be dedicated to the theme of tourism development in Uzbekistan, and I'm your lecturer, Omonova Nilufar. So the plans of our lecture is going to be as follows. Like for example, achieved results during the 2016 and 2019 in Uzbekistan. And the next plan is going to be the impact of the pandemic on tourism and the reanimation of the tourism industry after the COVID pandemic and the development of tourism infrastructure. And the last plan is going to be the diversification of tourism services in Uzbekistan, especially in 2016 and 2019. So, if we begin our first plans, it's called to be achieved results during 2016 and 2019 in Uzbekistan. At the beginning of 2016, new transformations and rapid reforms dedicated to the tourism industry was launched in Uzbekistan. So in 2016 and 2019 there was transformations and they were called as direct strategies for the development of national income, which can ensure the development of the national economy in an accelerated rate. So the analysis shows that positive dynamic growth in tourism has been occurred, and in 2016 and 2019 there was a significant increase in the number of foreign tourists visiting Uzbekistan. For comparison, if in 2016 2 million tourists from abroad visited Uzbekistan, this number increased by 3.3 times and reached at 6.7 million tourists a year. And in 2018, the number of foreign tourists increased by 98% and compared to the previous year, and the number of companies and organizations engaged in this tourism sector increased by 131%. So our next slide shows the graph. About the dynamics of inbound tourism of the Republic of Uzbekistan. If you see the graph, the 10-year period from 2010 and 2019 was compared in this graph, and visitors the number of visitors did not change during 6 years, from 2010 and 2016. It only stayed from 1 million to 2 million. However, from 2017, the number of tourists began to increase from 2,690 million to 6,700 million in 2019. It can be said that tourism industry witnessed a considerable growth in inbound tourism. So, our next plan is dedicated to the impact of pandemic on tourism. You see that coronavirus pandemic has impacted tremendously not only in Uzbekistan but also the whole world tourism. According to the World Tourism and Travel Council, the direct and indirect contribution of tourism and travel was $8.9 trillion in 2019. Accordingly, every 10th person in the world was engaged in the tourism sector. However, due to the restrictions imposed against the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic and the consequences of global crisis, the tourism industry has suffered serious losses. That's why the number of foreign tourists visiting Uzbekistan decreased by more than 4.5 times to 1.5 million tourists a year, and the volume of tourism services fell to $261 million in 2020. You see, the difference is very big, and the loss was seen in tourism sector as well as other fields. So after the post-COVID period, renovation of the tourism industry was began to be imposed in Uzbekistan by the government. According to the decree of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, dated on the 19th June in 2020, the Safe Tourism Fund was formed at the expense of initial contribution from the Anti-Crisis Fund and the Minister of Finance for 20 billion subs. And as well as this, there was Uzbekistan, the Safe Travel Guaranteed project was developed. According to this project, different sanitary and epidemiological standards were introduced for the people coming to this country. And our next slide is going to be about the renovations of the for the citizens of other countries coming to Uzbekistan. The citizens of about 80 countries have the opportunity to apply for the electronic visa in a simplified manner. This simplification was done for the improvement of tourism sector after coronavirus pandemic. And also 5 new types of visas have been introduced, like compatriot, student, medicine, pilgrimage, and academic. According to the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of the Republic of Uzbekistan, the simplification of visa-free regime has yielded its positive results. And in particular, in 2019, if the average growth in number of tourists was 26%, then the growth rate among the countries where the visa-free regime was introduced, it was 58%. So our next plan is the development of tourism infrastructure. Our government has paid tremendous attention to the development of infrastructure of tourism sector, and comprehensive measures to increase the accommodation were taken by the government, and as a result, the number of placements in the country increased dramatically. In particular, from 2016 onwards 3 years, the number of placements increased from 750 to 1,308, and the number of beds increased from 34,000 to 62,000. You see, it's a big difference. These all improvements and simplifications are all done for the development of tourism in the country. Diversification of tourism services. If we see the word diversification, it means different types. There are different types of tourism services throughout the world. However, Uzbekistan is also doing its best to diversify the types of tourism service for the tourists, especially for foreign tourists. In recent years, practical measures have been taken to effectively diversify the structure of tourist services. In particular, much attention is paid to increase the flow of tourists through MICE tourism. According to the statistics of the UNDO, more money is spent on business tourism than on recreational tourism. That's why MICE tourism is going to be more developed in this country. And a number of measures were also taken to develop cinema tourism, because film is one of the most important tools to create and develop the country's image to the world. That's why cinema tourism is going to be held and is going to be improved for the country. And in order to create special convenience for those visiting Uzbekistan for pilgrimage tourism, requirements have been introduced for hotels, and then also several mosques and madrasas were created and posted in the mobile application. And also, the first pilgrimage tourism forum was held in Bukhara for the first time, and 120 foreign guests from 34 countries took part in. And it has yielded its positive results, and visitors, with the purpose of pilgrimage, increased this year. In 2019, the number of foreign citizens visiting Uzbekistan for medical purposes exceeded 50,000, because in recent years Uzbekistan's medicine is going to be highly improved, and the people to be treated coming for medical purposes are increasing. The next picture is going to show us that the improvements from 2016 and 2020 gave us considerable changes and improvements in the tourism sector of Uzbekistan. More than 60 normative legal acts have been adopted, and a visa-free regime has been adopted for citizens of 90 countries. It gives foreign visitors more freedom and safety for coming to the country. Tour operators, the number of tour operators increased 1.6 times, and accommodation facilities increased from 750 to 1,308, and places in accommodation facilities increased by 2.2 times. And of course, export of tourism services increased 2.4 times, and countries where the visa-free regime has been introduced increased 10 times, from 9 countries to 90 countries respectively. In conclusion, it should be noted that Uzbekistan, tourism in Uzbekistan needs to be transformed for business models through innovation and digitalization. At the same time, in order to make tourism industry as a highly profitable area, it is necessary to consolidate the efforts of all participants in the tourism market, public and private sectors. So, this is all for today. Thank you for your attention, dear students. I hope that you have all understanding of tourism development in Uzbekistan, particularly in the years of 2016 and 2020. And see you next time. Goodbye.